Let's make this player portrait game day poster in Photoshop. So let's start by dragging in our main photo. This is Ethan Bloodworth of the Carolina Flyers. I got this photo at Championship Weekend in Salt Lake City. I'm just gonna size this photo initially so his face is like pretty much in the middle of the design. Then we're gonna kind of build our other elements around this central portrait shot. So I really like this shot. Obviously good lighting in the background. You kind of get this like rim glow on the edges. The hair looks pretty cool. Obviously, the better the photo, the better your design is going to be, especially when it is a featured photo like this. So let's start by running this through Camera Raw filter, going up to filter, Camera Raw filter, and we're just gonna kind of enhance some basic lighting adjustments. We'll up the exposure, and overall, you know, we kind of want this like high contrasty vibe. So I might up the contrast a little bit more, and then with the effects, I think texture and clarity on this photo in particular, like I remember editing it, I did add texture and clarity right off the bat, but we could probably push that a little higher for this design. Some vignetting on the edges might be nice. And then for detail, I do want to add some sharpening. And then if you hold Option while clicking on this masking dial, we can see exactly what it's affecting. I just want to drag it so it's mostly hitting like the edges of his face. You can see like turning that up, just a very subtle difference. We'll hit OK. Now let's cut out our subject. So I'm just hitting W for quick selection. We'll click on select subject at the top here, and it's doing a pretty good job of just getting that initial selection. That looks good to me. We can hit select and mask, up the smart radius a little bit. And I have a whole video on cutting out players if this is new to you, but some subtle adjustments like that. We'll output this to a layer mask, and then let's duplicate this original image. Delete the layer mask by right-clicking this thumbnail, delete layer mask. So now we have the cutout isolated on its own layer. If we want to make adjustments to just our player, like we don't need to really enhance the clarity and texture of the background. So if we turn off Camera Raw filter, it does just kind of bring a little bit more attention to our player. So maybe we like that. I can also kind of darken this side of the background, bringing up an exposure layer. We can lower the exposure, and I really want to emphasize like this brightness coming in the top right of the canvas. So something like this for the exposure, and then if we hide this with Command I, now it's a black mask, we can paint back on with a white brush. I'm gonna make this a soft brush, and I'm just kind of darkening this edge to, again, further draw attention to the top right. Now for the player, we can kind of enhance the lighting on this side of his face to, again, sell that lighting effect. So let's bring up a curves layer, and we're gonna clip it to our player cutout, holding Option, hovering in the space and clicking. We can name this cutout. And then I'm just gonna boost the midpoint of these curves. Maybe we can lower the darks a little bit. And then hiding this layer, again, Command I hides the mask, inverts it, so we got a black mask. Now we can paint back on in white, just the parts that we want that light hitting some more. So definitely want to reflect well on his face and the white of the jersey. That looks good. We could add a little bit of color to his face too. Like we have a subtle kind of yellowy glow coming from this. So if we wanted to bring in a hue and saturation layer, again, clipping it, we can colorize, click that colorize box, and just try to reflect, more of like a golden hour lighting. It's pretty subtle, so we're not gonna go really heavy with this effect, but again, Command I to invert this mask, and then let's just like softly brush on a little bit of this glowing gold color just to the side of the face. And we're gonna kind of keep enhancing this lighting effect throughout the design, but one other thing we can do is bring in our own sun flare. So we can really take parts of the sun flare image and have it reflecting on our subject. Setting the blend mode to screen is gonna be your best bet. And maybe I just wanna have like some of these rings on the left side, some of these like bubble shapes. I think placing it around there feels pretty good to me. And I'm just gonna click once on the mask icon to mask it, and then hide these harsh edges, just painting them out with a black mask. And now we have this like golden hour type lighting. And if you didn't like the color, like maybe this is too yellowy, we can also drop a hue and saturation layer on our sun flare, and maybe we want to desaturate it a little bit, kind of make it blend some more. You can even change the color and get it to your liking. And this sun flare image, by the way, I think I picked it up from Adobe's free stock collection. That is a great free resource for any design assets you can imagine, really. So that's feeling pretty good for our initial photo adjustments. Let's get into like the lower part of the design where we're gonna put some text and the game day information. So first I wanna like blur out this bottom part and put a dark gradient on it just so we can like have space for that additional information. So first thing I'm gonna make a new layer and then Command Option Shift E basically applies the image as we're looking at it now to its own layer. We're gonna go up to Filter, Convert for Smart Filters, and then Filter, Blur. Let's do a radial blur. And I'm gonna do the Zoom blur method. Maybe we can crank it to like 15, see how that looks. Hit OK, and you can see we got this blur effect. I just want it on this lower part. So let's click our mask icon, and then if you go to your gradient tool, should be able to select black to transparent gradient and click and drag while holding shift. So you can start like, you know, pick your start point and end point. Maybe we want to blur out to about there, just gradually. And then let's make a new layer on top of this. Again, gradient tool. We'll keep this black to transparent gradient and just kind of like brush a soft gradient on the lower portion. Now this will give us some room to create some game day text and not take away from like the main focal point of the image. So now for our main text, let's make a new layer. I'm going to type out game day in white. So we'll go game day, and then the font I'm going to use is called Lindsay Signature. I think I got this from Adobe Fonts, but apologies if I'm mistaken. And it's like a little thin, and right now it's too spaced out too, so I can go into my character panel, set that back to 0. I mean, honestly, we can like connect some of these letters better just by lowering the spacing on like select areas. Like the M wasn't quite reaching the E. And we can just kind of blow this up so it fits the full width of the design. And I also want it a little bit thicker. So to thicken this or make it bolder, I'm just gonna hit Command J to duplicate it. I'm gonna hit my arrow key once to the right and once down. Then I'm gonna do that same thing. Command J, right down. That thickness is feeling better. Maybe we go one more. And we can play with this text a bit. So if you hold shift and just select all these layers, we can convert it for smart filters. That way we're not losing any quality if we do some sizing adjustments. But hit Command T, you know, we can like tilt it up, holding Command on that transform. And then, yeah, something like this. I mean, I do want to give it some room so we have like the game day information basically in the space between the G and the Y, kind of having those loops frame it in some way. But, you know, we can stretch this out. It doesn't have to be a perfect science, but whatever feels right to you. Let's go and drop a little bit of a blur on this text as well. Going up to Filter, Blur. I think let's do a motion blur, just to give it like a little hint of movement, just left to right, 0-degree angle. 10 pixels is good. Now for our game day information on this lower part, let's make a new layer, and we're gonna start by making 2 boxes for the team logos. So we'll make a box here, Command J, another box next to it. And I've got these logo files. This is gonna be like a mock game day graphic for the championship game. So we'll drop in Minnesota and Carolina, our 2 teams, and just sizing these down. We're gonna fit these in the boxes, and then we're gonna set the colors to just be grayscale. We'll just do like fully black and white. So that's centered there. We can clip this Carolina logo to that box, and then the Minnesota logo. Shrink it down a little bit more. Maybe this spacing feels about right to me. Let's group these, the box and the logos, all in their own folder, and let's just drop a gradient map on top of all of them. Clip it, again, holding Option, hovering in the space, and we'll just make this black to white. And yeah, we'll just do like the black versions of these logos. Well, yeah, I think the gray is fine to include. So however you want to do this part in your design. I'm gonna blow this up a little bit more and just make sure the circle is relatively centered. And we'll probably play with the sizing some more, but let's get into our text. So right next to these boxes, let's write out the game information. I'm gonna start, and let's use the Eurostyle font, Eurostyle Extended Black. We'll go all caps. We'll just start with the teams. We'll say Minnesota versus Carolina. Hit return. We'll say August 24th, 2024, and then 9 p.m. Eastern. But I just want to line this up so it kind of like fits with the height of the icons. So I'm going to shrink down our boxes to better match this. And I think we want to space out the text vertically a little bit more. And then we can maybe shrink it down to like, yeah, maybe 18 and slightly spaced out. Font I think looks decent. And I'm gonna group all these elements together and just call it game info. So we've got a folder of game info. And yeah, I'm just gonna position this like between these loops of the G and the Y, because I think that is where design-wise it makes most sense. And if we wanna give it a little bit more space, we can move the Gameday text up, and again, rotate it, skew it as we need. Something around here feels pretty good. Everything can breathe, have some space around the text, but not too much. I am a little worried about the margin, but we can just go with like kind of a 1.5 box margin, or maybe even drop this to like a 1 box margin for this graphic. And if you haven't seen my video on grids, margins, and guides, I just naturally have my grid set to, I think it's a 1/2 inch per box. Definitely recommend using grids and guides if you're not already. Let's make a new layer and start adding some like complementary info to this graphic. So I want like some text going up this right side, and we'll have some text going up the left side. For the right side, I'm just gonna have the word Gameday repeating. Because we have it in the script font, it's nice to have like a more clearly written out word somewhere else if the only way you have it is like kind of a difficult to read version. I'm gonna size this to 18, which is the same size that I use for this font, and just typing out Gameday. I'm gonna hit space maybe 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Copy, paste. Let me rotate this too as I make them. We'll do the same thing, paste again. I think for this margin, yeah, let's stick with this 1 box vibe. And obviously like it gets lost in the light, but I kind of like that, and I think having it fade out gradually will look good. So let's take a mask to this and hit our G for gradient tool. We'll go the black to transparent that we had before, and just clicking and dragging up. And we can balance this out with some text on the left side. For the left side text, let's duplicate this layer. I'm gonna delete this layer mask for now. I am gonna put the name of the stadium, so Zions Bank Stadium is where this game was played. And if you're looking for more little details to add, you can also add the latitude and longitude. That's kind of a trendy thing you'll see in some sports graphics. So let's Command J, duplicate this. Just gonna select our text, and I have the coordinates pre-saved in this text edit window. I'm just gonna copy and paste it in. I think I got this from Wikipedia. You can generally just like look up a stadium and you should be able to see its coordinates. But again, I'm just adjusting these so it fits in that like 1 box margin from the left side. And obviously these are currently overlapping, so let's reduce the spacing back to 0. And honestly, we could drop the font size down some more too. Maybe we just do like a 13-point font on both of these, just to give them both sufficient breathing room. Yeah, something like this. Another fun thing you can do with player portraits like this is just add like a little bit of design movement to the background, if that's a good way to put it. I'm just gonna take this same Gameday text and like blow it up and see how the like squiggly lines look behind our player. So let's go back in to our Gameday text. I'm just gonna take one of these text layers, and this is gonna keep the font nice and like skinny, but also flexible, so we can size it way up. Blowing it up with the transform tool, and again, putting it behind our player cutout. And I just wanna find like, yeah, like something like this, where this line is kind of nicely dividing our information, and there's just like some interesting movement going on. I guess the loop of the Y, maybe we need to lean towards like the front part of the word. So something around there feels about right. We can also adjust the spacing on this kind of complementary text just to give it a little bit more room. Something like that. Let's go back to this like big Gameday text. I'm gonna go with filter, convert for smart filters, and then add a little bit of blur to it. And if we wanted to, we could like fade this out some too, so like it's a little less intrusive. Obviously we want to keep the focal point on our player on the Gameday text and info at the bottom, but this is just kind of like a fun little wave of scribbles that comes from an existing element. I'm kind of curious to play with the blend modes too, so maybe we can go to like honestly, overlay is sort of interesting. I think I like overlay better than the pure white. I'm still not sure about the placement of this back cursive text. Maybe if we move it over, yeah, we can maybe use this first line of the G. And we can honestly like dim it out along this Gameday text on the right side, just so we can read that a little bit better. Now let's get into our finishing effects. So I'm gonna make a new layer on top of everything. We'll call it finishing. Let's start by playing with the colors a little bit. So we've got this like blue tint to the jersey. I don't think we really need that. So let's take the blues and just desaturate them completely. I'm also gonna throw on a color lookup, and we can use one of these Fuji ones, 3510. I think 3510 is good. Kind of gives it this more high contrast look that I think works well here. Lower it to 60% opacity. And then another way you can emphasize the lighting in a design is just using a gradient black to white and setting it to overlay. So just going to our adjustment layers, gradient fill. Let's do that black to white or white to black, sure. Can reverse it and just line up the white with the part that the light is coming from in the design, and then obviously it'll darken as it goes down. We'll hit OK, and then setting this blend mode to overlay. Obviously this is like the most exaggerated version of the effect when it's at full 100% opacity, but it really just adds like a little bit more lighting and contrast. Now I'm also wondering if these Gameday text should be the same size as our text over here. So let's drop it down to 12 and just see if I like that any better. And we can keep the gradient the same, just unlinking these layers so we can move the text up. And yeah, that's maybe a cleaner look. Another finishing effect we can play with is just adding a curves layer and adjusting the lighting conditions there. So I'm gonna make a few points on this layer. Let's make a black point a little bit higher to get this matte finish. And then I think the midpoint, maybe darkening things. I mean, maybe we don't even need that one. But yeah, I kind of like this higher contrast look. Feels pretty good. You can see before and after. And then I think with the whites in the design, we could give a little bit of color to them. So it's just not like a pure white going on top of everything. So this will affect our text color. It'll affect these boxes. But let's drop a selective color layer and go to the whites. And now we can add like, you know, maybe a little bit of red by lowering the cyans. Maybe we go a little bit of yellow by upping the yellows. It just kind of gives a little bit more character rather than using like pure white, pure grayscale for certain parts. Then let's close things out by collapsing our finishing effects. New layer, Command Option Shift E. We'll go to filter, convert for smart filters, filter, camera raw filter. Definitely gonna add a little bit of adjustments here in camera raw filter, but probably nothing too extreme because I'm pretty happy with where it's at, but we can add some vignetting maybe on the edges and always add a little bit of grain at the end, just helping blend everything nicely. You can always mess with colors more in this window too. So I don't know if we want to enhance any like red or orange values. And that is it for our finished poster design. Big takeaways are first to just choose a good compelling photo to build your portrait design around. And then once you have kind of like the big statement text, the title text, making sure you build out those complementary elements like the text we have on the sides of the design, the game info, of course, on the bottom. Really helps round everything out and keep your design balanced. Thanks for watching as always, and let me know if you have any questions.